Your starting point in life does not determine where you will end up. Many people believe that the family they are born into, the money they have, or the position they hold today will decide their future forever. This belief has stopped countless talented individuals from chasing their dreams. However, history has repeatedly shown that some of the world's most successful people began with very little. They faced poverty, rejection, and difficult circumstances, yet they refused to let those challenges become permanent limitations. Growing up with fewer opportunities can feel discouraging. When you see others surrounded by wealth, influence, or privilege, it is easy to believe that success belongs only to them. But the truth is that success is not reserved for those who start with advantages. It belongs to those who are willing to learn, work consistently, and keep moving forward even when progress is slow. Every great achievement begins with a decision to improve, regardless of current circumstances. Imagine a young servant working inside a magnificent royal palace. Every day, he watches powerful people making important decisions while he quietly completes his duties. To most people, his role seems insignificant, and they assume he will remain in the same position for the rest of his life. Yet instead of feeling defeated, he chooses to observe, listen, and learn. He understands that every environment offers valuable lessons to those who pay attention. Rather than complaining about what he lacks, he focuses on gaining knowledge that no one can take away from him. While others spend their free time resting or wasting hours on distractions, he invests every spare moment in self-improvement. He reads books about business, leadership, communication, and financial management. He studies the habits of successful entrepreneurs and notices how they solve problems instead of making excuses. Every page he reads expands his thinking. Every new skill he develops increases his confidence. Slowly, his mindset begins to change long before his circumstances do. Many people around him laugh at his ambitions. They remind him of his humble position and tell him that people like him are not meant to become successful. Their words are meant to discourage him, but instead they strengthen his determination. He realizes that the opinions of others cannot define his future unless he allows them to. Rather than arguing with his critics, he lets his actions speak for him. He continues learning, growing, and preparing for opportunities that others cannot yet see. There are moments when progress feels invisible. Days turn into months, and months turn into years. Sometimes it seems as though all the effort is producing no visible reward. Yet every hour spent learning, every mistake corrected, and every challenge overcome is quietly building a stronger foundation for future success. Personal growth often happens long before external success becomes visible. The discipline developed during difficult seasons becomes the strength needed to handle greater responsibilities later in life. Eventually, opportunities begin to appear, not because of luck, but because preparation meets the right moment. The knowledge he has gathered allows him to recognize solutions where others see only problems. The confidence he has built helps him make decisions that others are too afraid to make. The patience he has practiced keeps him focused even when immediate results are uncertain. Step by step, his circumstances begin to change because he has already transformed the way he thinks and works. This journey demonstrates that the greatest limitation is rarely a lack of money or status. The greatest limitation is believing that change is impossible. Once a person accepts responsibility for their own growth, new possibilities begin to open. Every challenge becomes a lesson, every setback becomes an opportunity to improve, and every small achievement becomes proof that progress is possible. A humble beginning can become the strongest foundation for extraordinary success because it teaches resilience, gratitude, discipline, and perseverance, qualities that cannot be purchased but are often the true reason behind lasting achievement. Every successful person encounters obstacles that test their determination and commitment. Challenges are an unavoidable part of every journey, and no meaningful achievement comes without moments of uncertainty, disappointment, or failure. The difference between those who eventually succeed and those who give up is not the number of obstacles they face, but the way they respond to them. While some people see difficulties as reasons to stop, others recognize them as opportunities to grow stronger, think differently, and discover solutions that others overlook. The young palace servant understood this lesson better than anyone. Every day, he faced situations that reminded him of his humble position. He worked long hours performing tasks that received little recognition. Many people treated him as if he were invisible, believing that someone in his role could never accomplish anything extraordinary. Instead of allowing these experiences to fill him with bitterness, he used them as motivation to improve himself. Every criticism pushed him to work harder, every rejection encouraged him to become wiser, and every disappointment strengthened his determination to build a different future. As he carefully observed life inside the palace, he began to notice problems that everyone else ignored. Supplies often arrived late, resources were wasted, and simple processes took much longer than necessary. Most people accepted these issues as normal because they had existed for years. They complained about them but never attempted to find a better solution. The servant, however, viewed every problem through a different perspective. He realized that behind every challenge lies an opportunity for someone willing to solve it. Instead of asking why these problems existed, he began asking how they could be improved. This shift in thinking became one of his greatest strengths. Rather than seeing obstacles as barriers, he treated them as invitations to innovate. He spent his evenings researching business strategies, studying successful companies, and learning how efficient systems could reduce costs and improve results. He compared different ideas, wrote detailed notes, and constantly searched for practical ways to apply what he had learned. His curiosity allowed him to discover possibilities that many experienced professionals failed to recognize because they had become comfortable with the way things had always been done. When he finally decided to start his own small business, the road ahead was far from easy. He had very little money, no influential connections, and almost no experience running a company. Friends questioned his decision, while strangers doubted that someone with his background could succeed in the competitive business world. Banks refused to provide financial support, believing his idea carried too much risk. Potential investors ignored his proposals without giving them serious consideration. Each rejection could have convinced him to abandon his dream, but instead it forced him to become more creative and resourceful. Without access to large amounts of capital, he learned to make the most of every small opportunity. He carefully managed every expense, reinvested every profit, and focused on delivering exceptional value to his first customers. He understood that trust had to be earned through consistent performance rather than impressive promises. Every satisfied customer became a source of new recommendations, allowing his reputation to grow gradually through honesty, reliability, and excellent service. What others viewed as limitations taught him the importance of discipline, careful planning, and long-term thinking. Not every decision produced positive results. Some business strategies failed, important partnerships fell apart, and unexpected setbacks created financial pressure. There were moments when months of hard work seemed to disappear overnight because of circumstances beyond his control. Instead of blaming others or making excuses, he analyzed every mistake with honesty. He asked himself what could be improved, what lessons could be learned, and how similar problems could be avoided in the future. Every failure became valuable experience that made him a more capable entrepreneur. Over time, the challenges that once seemed impossible became sources of confidence. Problems that had previously caused fear now inspired determination, because he knew that solving difficult situations would make both him and his business stronger. His ability to remain calm under pressure earned the respect of employees, customers, and business partners. While competitors became discouraged by changing markets and unexpected difficulties, he adapted quickly because years of overcoming obstacles had trained him to remain flexible and resilient. His journey demonstrated that opportunities rarely arrive in perfect conditions. They are often hidden inside moments of uncertainty, hardship, and discomfort. Those who develop the habit of searching for solutions instead of dwelling on problems place themselves in a position to recognize possibilities that others fail to notice. A challenge can either become an excuse for standing still or the first step toward remarkable success, depending entirely on the mindset and actions of the person facing it. One of the greatest investments anyone can make is the decision to keep learning throughout life. Education does not end when school or university is finished. In reality, the most valuable lessons are often learned through experience, curiosity, observation, and the willingness to improve every single day. The world changes constantly, industries evolve, technologies advance, and new opportunities appear for those who are prepared. People who stop learning eventually fall behind, while those who continue developing their knowledge remain ready for whatever challenges and opportunities come their way. The young palace servant understood that knowledge was the one possession nobody could ever take away from him. He did not have wealth, a powerful family name, or influential connections, but he knew he could build something even more valuable. Every evening after completing his responsibilities in the palace, he dedicated his time to learning. While others relaxed or accepted their current situation, he opened books about business, leadership, finance, communication, negotiation, and entrepreneurship. He believed that every page he read brought him one step closer to the future he dreamed of creating. Learning was not simply about collecting information. He focused on understanding how successful people thought, made decisions, and solved problems. Whenever he observed experienced business leaders visiting the palace, he carefully listened to their conversations. He paid attention to how they negotiated agreements, handled disagreements, managed their teams, and responded to unexpected challenges. Instead of admiring their success from a distance, he studied the habits that helped them achieve it. He realized that success leaves clues, and anyone willing to observe carefully can learn from the experiences of others. Every new skill he acquired increased his confidence. At first, many business concepts seemed difficult to understand. Financial reports looked confusing, investment strategies appeared complicated, and leadership principles felt overwhelming. Rather than becoming discouraged, he approached every challenge with patience. He revisited difficult topics, asked questions whenever possible, and practiced what he learned until those concepts became familiar. He understood that mastery does not happen overnight. It is built through repetition, persistence, and a willingness to remain a student regardless of how much knowledge one already possesses. As his understanding grew, he began applying what he learned to his daily responsibilities. He looked for ways to complete tasks more efficiently, organize supplies more effectively, and communicate more professionally with those around him. Even though these improvements seemed small, they helped him develop practical experience that could not be gained from books alone. He discovered that real learning happens when knowledge is combined with action. Every lesson became more meaningful because he immediately searched for opportunities to put it into practice. His curiosity extended far beyond business. He studied psychology to better understand human behavior, believing that successful entrepreneurs must first understand people before they can build successful companies. He explored history to learn how great leaders responded during times of crisis. He read biographies of entrepreneurs who had built remarkable businesses from humble beginnings, paying close attention to the decisions they made during difficult moments. He even learned about public speaking, knowing that clear communication would become an essential leadership skill as his ambitions grew. Every subject he explored added another valuable tool to his growing collection of knowledge. There were many evenings when exhaustion tempted him to stop studying. After working long hours inside the palace, it would have been easy to rest and postpone learning until another day. However, he reminded himself that every successful person sacrifices temporary comfort for long-term growth. Instead of viewing learning as a burden, he considered it an investment in the future version of himself. Each hour spent reading, practicing, or developing new skills was preparing him for opportunities that had not yet appeared. As years passed, the results of his dedication became increasingly visible. When challenges arose, he approached them with confidence because he possessed the knowledge needed to analyze situations carefully and make informed decisions. While others relied on guesswork or emotion, he relied on preparation, critical thinking, and continuous improvement. His ability to learn quickly also allowed him to adapt whenever industries changed or new technologies emerged. Instead of fearing change, he welcomed it because he understood that every new development created opportunities for those willing to keep growing. People eventually noticed that he possessed a different mindset from those around him. Conversations with him became insightful because he could draw lessons from many different fields of knowledge. Business partners valued his ability to solve complex problems. Employees respected his willingness to teach and mentor others, and customers trusted his professionalism. None of these qualities appeared by chance. They were the result of thousands of hours spent learning, practicing, reflecting, and improving little by little every single day. He came to understand that knowledge alone is not enough unless it is supported by humility. No matter how much success he achieved, he never believed he knew everything. Every achievement encouraged him to learn even more, explore new ideas, and remain open to different perspectives. This mindset kept him growing, while many others became satisfied with what they had already accomplished. His commitment to lifelong learning became one of the strongest foundations of his personal growth, professional success, and ability to seize opportunities that others failed to recognize. Success is often imagined as a single breakthrough, a lucky opportunity, or one extraordinary moment that changes everything overnight. In reality, lasting success is built through discipline, patience, and consistent effort over a long period of time. The achievements that inspire millions are usually the result of thousands of ordinary days filled with hard work, sacrifice, and determination. People often admire the final outcome without realizing how many years of preparation, persistence, and self-control were required to reach that point. The young palace servant quickly understood that dreams alone were not enough. Many people around him spoke about becoming successful, wealthy, or respected, but very few were willing to develop the habits necessary to achieve those goals. He realized that discipline was the bridge between ambition and accomplishment. Every morning, he completed his palace duties with excellence, no matter how tired or discouraged he felt. He believed that if he could not be responsible with small tasks, he would never be trusted with greater responsibilities in the future. His daily routine reflected this belief. Before the sun rose, he prepared himself for another day of work. Throughout the day, he remained focused, respectful, and committed to doing every task to the best of his ability. When his responsibilities inside the palace ended, his work was far from over. Instead of spending his evenings seeking entertainment or wasting valuable hours, he devoted his time to reading, studying, planning business ideas, and improving his skills. This routine continued day after day, week after week, and year after year. While others searched for shortcuts, he concentrated on building strong habits that would serve him for the rest of his life. Discipline also meant making difficult choices. There were many occasions when friends invited him to spend time relaxing or enjoying temporary pleasures. Although he appreciated moments of rest, he understood that every choice carried consequences. He knew that sacrificing a few hours today could create opportunities that would benefit him for decades. Rather than chasing instant gratification, he focused on long-term progress. Every decision he made was guided by the future he wanted to create rather than the comfort he wanted in the present moment. Patience became equally important throughout his journey. When he launched his first small business, he did not expect immediate success. He knew that trust had to be earned, customers had to be satisfied, and a strong reputation could only be built through consistent performance over time. There were months when profits were small and progress seemed painfully slow. Some days he questioned whether all his efforts would ever produce meaningful results. However, he reminded himself that strong foundations take time to build. Just as a magnificent palace cannot be constructed in a single day, a successful business cannot grow overnight. Every setback tested his patience. There were delayed payments, unexpected expenses, lost opportunities, and moments when carefully planned projects failed despite his best efforts. Instead of reacting emotionally or giving up, he remained calm and focused. He understood that temporary difficulties did not erase years of hard work. Each challenge required thoughtful decisions rather than impulsive reactions. His ability to stay patient during uncertain times allowed him to make wiser choices, while others abandoned their goals because they expected success to come quickly. As his business gradually expanded, new responsibilities demanded even greater discipline. Managing employees, serving customers, overseeing finances, and making strategic decisions required careful planning every single day. Success brought additional pressure rather than making life easier. He discovered that maintaining excellence required the same level of commitment that had helped him achieve it in the first place. Every successful company depended on systems, consistency, accountability, and responsible leadership. Without discipline, even the greatest achievements could disappear as quickly as they arrived. His employees often admired his work ethic because he never expected others to do what he was unwilling to do himself. He arrived prepared, respected deadlines, honored commitments, and treated every responsibility with seriousness. His consistency inspired those around him to raise their own standards. They realized that true leadership is demonstrated through daily actions rather than impressive speeches. By setting an example, he created a workplace culture where reliability, honesty, and excellence became shared values among the entire team. There were countless moments when immediate rewards were invisible. Weeks of effort sometimes produced only small improvements, and major achievements often required years of careful planning. Yet he understood that meaningful progress is rarely dramatic. It is built through countless small victories that accumulate over time. Every satisfied customer, every improved process, every new skill, and every disciplined decision contributed to a stronger future. Although these individual actions seemed insignificant on their own, together they created extraordinary results that many people mistakenly described as sudden success. He also learned that discipline extends beyond work habits. It includes controlling emotions during stressful situations, remaining humble after achieving success, managing finances responsibly, treating people with respect, and staying committed to personal values even when faced with temptation. These qualities strengthened both his character and his business. While competitors sometimes sacrificed integrity for quick profits, he understood that lasting success depends on trust, and trust can only be earned through consistent honesty and responsible behavior. His journey proved that patience and discipline are not signs of weakness or delay, but powerful strengths that separate temporary achievements from lasting success. Every day of consistent effort prepared him for opportunities that would have overwhelmed someone seeking shortcuts. His willingness to stay committed during seasons of slow progress allowed him to build a business, a reputation, and a legacy founded on reliability, resilience, and unwavering dedication to excellence. Many people begin their journey toward success with one goal in mind: to make as much money as possible. They believe that wealth alone is the ultimate measure of achievement, and that financial success should be pursued above everything else. While earning money is important, focusing only on profit often leads people to make short-term decisions that damage their reputation, relationships, and future opportunities. Truly successful entrepreneurs understand that money is not the starting point of success. It is the result of creating genuine value for others. When people consistently solve problems, improve lives, and provide something meaningful, financial rewards naturally follow. The young palace servant discovered this principle long before he became a business owner. During his years of working inside the palace, he observed how respected leaders earned trust. They did not simply demand loyalty or expect admiration because of their titles. They gained respect by making wise decisions, helping others, and fulfilling their responsibilities with integrity. This taught him that influence is built by serving people effectively rather than seeking personal gain. He realized that if he ever wanted to build a successful business, his first responsibility would be to become useful to others. When he started his small company, he did not ask himself how quickly he could become rich. Instead, he asked a much more important question: what problem can I solve better than anyone else? This simple change in perspective transformed the way he approached every decision. Rather than searching for easy profits, he focused on understanding the needs of his customers. He listened carefully to their concerns, observed the difficulties they faced, and worked tirelessly to provide solutions that genuinely improved their lives. Every satisfied customer became proof that his business existed for a meaningful purpose. His commitment to creating value became visible in everything he did. He refused to compromise on quality, even when it would have been cheaper or easier to do so. He ensured that every product met high standards and that every service exceeded customer expectations. If mistakes occurred, he accepted responsibility instead of making excuses. He believed that trust is one of the most valuable assets any business can possess, and trust is earned through honesty, reliability, and consistent excellence. Customers quickly recognized this difference, and many returned because they knew they would receive genuine care rather than empty promises. As his business expanded, he continued placing people before profits. He invested in training his employees, believing that skilled and motivated individuals would naturally create better experiences for customers. He encouraged teamwork, respected different ideas, and created an environment where everyone felt valued. His employees understood that they were more than workers completing daily tasks. They were partners contributing to a larger mission. This culture of respect and collaboration improved productivity while strengthening loyalty throughout the organization. Creating value also required continuous innovation. The business world never remains the same, and customer needs constantly evolve. Instead of becoming comfortable with past achievements, he regularly searched for ways to improve his products, services, and business processes. He welcomed customer feedback, studied market trends, and embraced new technologies that could deliver greater benefits. Every improvement, no matter how small, reflected his commitment to helping people more effectively. He understood that businesses remain successful by continually increasing the value they provide rather than relying on yesterday's accomplishments. There were moments when pursuing value required difficult decisions. Competitors sometimes lowered prices by sacrificing quality or used misleading advertising to attract quick sales. Although these strategies occasionally produced temporary profits, he refused to follow the same path. He believed that lasting success depends on integrity, and integrity cannot be purchased once it has been lost. By remaining honest and transparent, he built relationships based on confidence rather than manipulation. Customers appreciated his sincerity, and their trust became one of the strongest foundations of his company's growth. His philosophy extended beyond customers to the communities his business served. As the company grew larger, he recognized that every successful organization has a responsibility to create positive change. He supported local suppliers, invested in educational programs, created employment opportunities, and encouraged initiatives that improved the lives of families. Instead of viewing business solely as a source of personal wealth, he saw it as a powerful tool for making a meaningful difference in society. Every opportunity to help others strengthened both the company's reputation and its long-term success. People often asked him how he managed to build such a respected business in a highly competitive market. Many expected him to reveal a secret investment strategy or an advanced business technique. His answer remained remarkably simple. He explained that whenever faced with an important decision, he asked himself whether it would create greater value for customers, employees, and the community. If the answer was yes, he pursued it with confidence. If the decision benefited only himself while harming others, he rejected it regardless of the financial reward it promised. Over time, his dedication to serving others produced results far greater than he had imagined. Customers became loyal supporters who recommended his business to friends and colleagues. Employees remained committed because they believed in the company's purpose and respected its leadership. Business partners sought long-term relationships because they knew they could depend on his honesty and professionalism. Financial success arrived not because he chased money relentlessly, but because he consistently delivered solutions that improved people's lives and earned their lasting trust. Many people measure success by the amount of money someone earns, the size of their house, the luxury cars they own, or the status they achieve in society. While these accomplishments can reflect hard work and determination, they do not tell the complete story of a person's success. Wealth and recognition may attract attention, but they do not automatically create a meaningful legacy. The true measure of success is found in the positive impact a person has on the lives of others. A life becomes truly valuable when its achievements inspire hope, create opportunities, and leave the world better than it was before. The former palace servant understood this truth after years of building his business. When he first began his journey, his goal was simply to create a better future for himself and his family. As his company grew, he realized that every decision he made affected hundreds and eventually thousands of people. His business was no longer just a source of income, it had become a platform capable of changing lives. Every new employee who joined the company represented a family that would benefit from stable employment. Every successful project created opportunities for suppliers, partners, and local communities to grow alongside the business. He never forgot where he came from. Despite becoming one of the wealthiest entrepreneurs in the kingdom, the memories of his humble beginnings remained close to his heart. He remembered the uncertainty of not knowing whether there would be enough food on the table, the struggle of working long hours for very little reward, and the feeling of being overlooked because of his social status. These experiences shaped his character and influenced the way he treated others. Instead of becoming distant from ordinary people, his success increased his compassion and strengthened his desire to help those facing similar challenges. One of his first priorities was investing in education. He believed that knowledge had transformed his own life, and he wanted others to have the same opportunity. He established scholarship programs for talented students from low-income families who dreamed of becoming entrepreneurs, engineers, teachers, doctors, and business leaders. Many of these young people had extraordinary potential but lacked the financial resources to continue their education. By removing those barriers, he opened doors that had previously seemed impossible to reach. Years later, many scholarship recipients returned as successful professionals who contributed to society and inspired the next generation. His commitment to creating opportunities extended beyond education. He expanded his company into regions where employment opportunities were limited, giving thousands of people the chance to build stable careers. Rather than viewing employees as numbers on a payroll, he saw them as individuals with dreams, families, and ambitions of their own. He encouraged professional development, rewarded dedication, and created an environment where hard work was recognized regardless of a person's background. Many employees who started in entry-level positions eventually became respected managers and leaders because he believed in developing people from within. He also understood that businesses have responsibilities beyond generating profits. During difficult economic periods, when many companies reduced their workforce to protect earnings, he searched for creative solutions that allowed as many employees as possible to keep their jobs. He accepted smaller profits rather than placing unnecessary hardship on families who depended on the company for their livelihood. His decisions demonstrated that responsible leadership requires balancing financial success with genuine concern for people. This approach earned him deep loyalty from employees, customers, and business partners who respected his values. Communities across the kingdom began benefiting from his generosity. He funded hospitals equipped with modern medical facilities, supported clean water projects in underserved villages, and helped rebuild schools damaged by natural disasters. His company organized volunteer programs that encouraged employees to contribute their time and skills to meaningful community projects. These efforts improved the quality of life for countless families while strengthening the connection between the business and the people it served. His success became a source of hope rather than a symbol of personal wealth alone. Perhaps his greatest influence came through the example he set. Young entrepreneurs looked up to him not only because he had become a billionaire, but because he had remained humble throughout his journey. He regularly visited schools, universities, and business conferences to share the lessons he had learned from years of perseverance and hard work. Instead of presenting himself as someone extraordinary, he reminded audiences that he had once been an ordinary palace servant with nothing more than determination, discipline, and a willingness to keep learning. His story encouraged countless individuals to believe that their circumstances did not have to define their future. As his reputation grew internationally, leaders from different countries invited him to advise businesses, mentor young entrepreneurs, and participate in charitable initiatives. Despite his busy schedule, he continued making time for these opportunities because he believed that knowledge becomes more valuable when it is shared. He mentored aspiring business owners, supported small startups with guidance and resources, and encouraged ethical leadership wherever he went. Many people who benefited from his advice later built successful businesses of their own, creating a ripple effect that extended far beyond his original achievements. Over the years, people came to admire him for far more than his financial success. They respected the way he treated others with dignity, the opportunities he created for those who had been overlooked, and the values that guided every major decision he made. His influence reached people who would never meet him personally because his actions inspired stories, inspired communities, and inspired future generations to pursue success with integrity, compassion, and a commitment to making a meaningful difference in the lives of others. As we reflect on this incredible journey, one truth becomes impossible to ignore: greatness is never determined by where a person begins. A palace servant may wear simple clothes, perform ordinary tasks, and go unnoticed by the world, but with vision, discipline, continuous learning, and unwavering determination, even the most humble individual can build an extraordinary future. Success is not reserved for the privileged. It belongs to those who refuse to give up, who continue learning when others stop, who see opportunities where others see obstacles, and who choose to create value instead of chasing shortcuts. The greatest lesson from this story is that every challenge carries the potential to become a turning point. Every rejection can become motivation, every failure can become a lesson, and every small step taken with consistency can lead to remarkable achievements over time. Wealth, influence, and recognition are meaningful only when they are used to uplift others, create opportunities, and leave a lasting positive impact on the world. No matter where you are today, Your future is still being written. Your current circumstances do not define your destiny. The decisions you make today, the habits you build, the knowledge you gain, and the courage you show during difficult times will shape the life you live tomorrow. Keep believing in your dreams, keep improving yourself every day, and never allow anyone else's opinion to limit your potential. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another inspiring story of courage, success, and transformation. Share this video with someone who needs a reminder that impossible dreams can become reality through determination and hard work. Thank you for watching, and remember, your story of success could be the next one that inspires the world.